On January 8 this year, a police officer took her own life at the Port Adelaide police station.
An inquiry has been launched after a female police officer...
The South Australian police community has been rocked by tragedy.
She was the third officer to die by suicide in South Australia within 4 months. Since her death, Victoria Police has lost 2 officers and WA 1. They are part of a devastating toll rising in police ranks. Research by the WA Police Union has found the suicide rate among serving officers in Australia has more than doubled in the last decade and now surpasses the rate of the general population. The grief of each death ripples through communities, colleagues, friends and family.
It's a very special photo.
Wendy McNish lost her husband Ray to suicide in 2016. He was an officer in Echuca in northern Victoria.
Every aspect of your life just implodes.
Experts say while the job isn't always a factor, sometimes it can be. Dr Dan Pronk served 4 tours of Afghanistan as a medic in the elite army SAS. He says there are stresses police face that can impact mental health.
The very abnormal exposures that people working on the front line have, these exposures to things like human suffering, to violence either against them or people in the community.
Matt Newlands knows these pressures well.
You're going from one challenging job to the next, to the next.
After nearly a decade in his dream job, the former SA police officer realised his mental health was in decline. He sought help away from the force, fearing the impact admitting he was struggling might have on his career. He was diagnosed with depression and post-traumatic stress disorder.
In the months that followed, I continued quite a rapid decline where on one particular occasion I came very close to ending my life.
Soon after, Matt was arrested and later sacked for taking a seized baseball bat from a station. He is now using his experience to help other frontline workers and says addressing mental health and suicide in the force is complex and vital.
What is the best way forward? How is it that we can best support our first responders? Because we need people to do a really challenging, really difficult job.
Part of that conversation is addressing the evolving pressures of modern policing and what's known as service culture.
It promotes friendship, it promotes resilience, it promotes support. On the negative side, service culture can sometimes discourage vulnerability and also early help seeking.
Wendy McNish believes the silence that often surrounds an officer's death isn't always helpful.
It sheds the light of some sort of shame, and there should not be any shame. We should be able to speak about these things, and that's the way we're going to make inroads and changes.
Police chiefs also know they must address recruitment if they're to take some of the pressure off their frontline officers and improve things like retention and morale. Speaking to the media in February, SA's Police Commissioner said it's a top priority.
Another big thing for us is to make sure that we're looking after our people. That requires us to fill those vacant positions, but also making sure that we're doing as much as we can to reduce the demand on frontline police.
A focus now of many who have a message for anyone struggling.
Seek help early. That is the absolute most important thing. You are not letting your team down.
Because it's so important that you're here tomorrow.
Harvey Biggs, ABC News.